भारत देश सन 1947 को ब्रिटिश हुकूमत के चंगुल से आज़ाद हुआ। देश की आज़ादी के बाद आज समय आ गया है कि हम शर्त रिकॉग्नाइज करें।
The National Digital Library of India is truly built of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is our knowledge legacy to future generations.
ఈ ఉద్యమాన్ని దేశ నలుమూలలా వ్యాప్తి చేసి ప్రజలకు మంచి నాణ్యమైన చదువు అందించాలనే ఉద్దేశంతో నేషనల్ డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా
छोटे बच्चे हैं जो पूरी प्रिविलेज नहीं ले पाते थे बुक्स दी या जर्नल्स दी कुछ अच्छा मटेरियल जिसको वांझे रह जाते थे उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे तरीके नाल मिल सकता है।
ইন্টাৰনেটৰ সহায়ত মোবাইল টেকনলজি আৰু কম্পিউটাৰ ইউজ কৰি ভাৰতৰ সকলো শিক্ষাৰ্থীয়ে নেশ্যনেল ডিজিটেল লাইব্ৰেৰী অফ ইণ্ডিয়া ইউজ কৰিব পাৰে।
શિક્ષણ પદ્ધતિ છે, વ્યવહારિક જ્ઞાન છે, થીસિસ છે, ડિસર્ટેશન્સ છે. உள்ளடக்கத்தை எல்லோரும் இலவசமாக நாடுங்கள்.
আমাদের ন্যাশনাল ডিজিটাল লাইব্রেরি এমন একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম যা আমাদের সভ্যতা, সংস্কৃতি এবং শিক্ষার সম্পর্কে বাঁচিয়ে রাখতে
I am National Digital Library.
I am the National Digital Library of India.
মই নেশ্যনেল ডিজিটেল লাইব্ৰেৰী
இந்தியாவின் தேசிய நூலகம் मी निरुपमा बावड़े नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया
I am National Digital Library of India.
मैं नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया
আমি ন্যাশনাল ডিজিটাল
Okay, so yes, for people who are not able to hear this audio, it means your audio has not yet been connected or your internet is very slow. So for the benefit of everyone, I am requesting all of you to one, kindly turn off your video, two, mute your mic, and three, change your name because I could see there is somebody called ABC. So when we prepare for the certificate and all, that time it will be a major issue. We will not be able to recognize who is there in the meeting and who is not. So if you are not able to hear the audio, so there is an option in your app. Just click on this first icon, 3-dot icon, click there, and then on the first audio option will be there. Just click there and then connect your internet audio. If you click on call, then it will call some number that will incur a lot of international call charges. So don't do this. Just click on the audio, internet audio only. Then it will be okay. You will be able to listen to us. Okay. So before, is there someone from Jain College? Dr. Padmavati, are you around? If yes, kindly unmute your mic. Dr.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Dr. Padmavati.
Yes, I am Padmavati, sir.
Yes.
Sir?
Yeah. Please speak. Rest of you, kindly mute your mic, please.
Sir, please tell me.
Can we start? So as I requested, kindly mute your mic, please. If I keep repeating the same, then I think we will spend the entire time in only telling you to mute your mic and turn off your video. So I'm requesting everyone, kindly turn off your video, because if everybody turns on their video, then we will be having huge bandwidth requirement. And if there is huge bandwidth requirement, and many of you will not be able to join. Okay, kindly turn off your video. So where 2-3 people have turned on their video, kindly turn off. You can turn off by clicking on the bottom second icon, video icon, then your video will be turned off. And for muting the mic, click on the central icon, then your mic will be muted. Okay, so I want to repeat there are a lot of new people who have joined in. I wanted to repeat the basic rules. First, kindly mute your mic throughout the session. 2, don't turn on your video. There is this madam, kindly turn off your video. And there is one gentleman, kindly turn off your video, please. I will request you to turn on the video towards the mid of the session. That time you can take it. You can turn off your video. We will use it for reporting purpose. We will take some screenshot of the participants and do it. So for people who want to know about the certificate of participation, so I wanted to repeat it again. Certificate of participation without the scanned signature will be issued to the participants who submit the quiz cum feedback form. So the quiz questions will be taken from the presentation that I make. So you have to listen to the presentation properly for attending the quiz questions. For people only answer 50% of the questions will be given the certificate of participation. And also you should not make any mistakes in the spelling of your name and college name. If you make any spelling mistakes, then the same mistake will appear in the certificate. Okay, so kindly keep these two things in your mind and listen to the webinar properly. It's not going to be in another webinar where you just participate and you get certificate. That is not going to happen. You have to listen to it carefully. And I have seen a lot of people in the previous webinars, like they just logged in and they just kept it on mute mode and they asked for certificate. We told them to submit the feedback form. All their answers were wrong, so we couldn't issue the certificate. So don't do this. If that is your purpose, kindly do not participate. And I could see a lot of people who have joined from earlier webinar also are here. So we will cross verify with our database and we will issue the certificate to only one times in this entire webinar. We will not be issuing it to twice or thrice. Okay, so kindly do this. So we will share the feedback form only at the end of my presentation. So you have to wait throughout the session. So for that purpose only, I'm requesting everyone, there is this madam, keep on turning on her video. Kindly, I'm humbly requesting you, kindly turn off your video. It's going to consume a lot of bandwidth. A lot of people will not be able to join. They will be having to leave the meeting because of the bandwidth requirement. Okay, please, I'm requesting all of you. So now we will begin the session. So if also, like, I will be locking the meeting. So after once the session starts, I will be locking the meeting. If you leave the meeting, you will not be able to join. So Miss MS, kindly turn off your video. I'll just see. I'm requesting, madam, are you able to listen to me? Yes, this gray color, madam, please turn off your video. Otherwise, I might have to remove you from the meeting, please. because it will consume a lot of bandwidth. Other people will not be able to join. Madhu Sharma, Miss Madhu Sharma, please turn off your video. There is this Sindhu Rani Gujur. Please turn off your video. And one, there is something called administrator. Please turn off your video, please. It's consuming a lot of bandwidth. I'm humbly requesting you. Miss Madhu Sharma, Miss Sindhu Rani Gujur, administrator. These three people's video is on. Kindly turn off your video.
Hello, sir. As a host, you can turn off the audio in.
I know that, madam. For video, it's not working. Audio, though I muted, people unmuted again. So this tool has some problem. Miss Madhu Sharma, your video is still on. Please. Mr. Gopal Kovind Joshi, please turn off your video, please. Miss Madhu Sharma, please turn off your video. Sweetie Bazas, please. I'm going to remove people who are not listening. Please turn off your video, please. Miss Sweetie, please turn off your video. Sir, please turn off your video, sir, please. Only there is this gentleman called administrator. If you don't do it, then I might have to remove you from the meeting, please. Okay, so we will begin the session now. Sorry for the delay, everyone. So this was due to we have to follow some basic housekeeping rules, and without that, we will all end up spending a lot of time in managing these people itself. So now the session is full. Now we will lock the meeting. If anybody leaves, they will not be able to join back the meeting again. Right? So now I'm going to start the presentation. So if you are not able to listen to the audio, then it means your audio has not yet been connected. So there is a button on the bottom left corner. Just click there, then the audio will start. I hope my voice is audible and the presentation is visible. If yes, kindly put it in the chat message. Don't turn on your mic. Just put it in the chat message. If my voice is clear and the screen is visible, the presentation is visible. Okay, thank you, Mr. Akash. Now we will proceed with the session. So as I mentioned, my name is Dr. Vignesh. I'm the Chief Strategic and Outreach Officer of National Digital Library of India. And welcome to this webinar. So I, on behalf of National Digital Library of India and SSS Jain College, we welcome all the participants. And for today's webinar, we are going to look at 6 things. First is why NDLI, who is this for, what kind of content we have at NDLI, how to access NDLI, what is the difference between Google and NDLI, and how to operate NDLI club in your own institution. So why NDLI? So look at this map, India map. This shows the literacy level of this country, right? So this is as per the 2011 census. So as per the census, except very few states, so Kerala, Goa, Tripura and Mizoram, where the literacy level is above 90%. In majority of the states, the literacy level is below 75%. So that's one fact. And on the other hand, there is another fact which says every month 1 million people, that is 10 lakh people, are turning into 18 years of age. That means they are getting into the, they are of the age of getting into the higher educational stream. So if we have to address their higher educational requirement, then India needs to set up 6 universities and 270 colleges just every month to bridge this education divide. And this requires huge amount of financial investment. And even after financial investment, if you ask me these will be sustainable in the long run, we don't have an answer, because we have already seen a lot of institutions in the some of the states are closing down due to lack of intake, student intake. So the government of India looked at various alternative solutions like Swayam Prabha, Gyan, NPTEL, NDLI. These are all supplementary and complementary learning solutions which will augment the existing infrastructure of educational requirements. So apart from this, NDLI was conceived for few major purposes. The first purpose is in the physical libraries. In the last few years, say 5 to 7 years, the budget for library has been drastically reduced. So some of you may be librarians, you may also agree with me. Say for example, if the library's budget was say 20 lakh rupees say 5 years back, today that same budget, library budget, has come down to 2 lakh rupees or 3 lakh rupees. If the library budget was say 5 lakh rupees, now it has come down to 1,50,000 to 1 lakh rupees. So the budget is being drastically reduced. And also in the physical infrastructure, we have few limitations. We can host very few resources. Say for example, I must have visited around 500 600 libraries of various kinds, be it an academic library or a research library or an public library. I have seen in many of the places these stocks, books have not even been opened. They are lying unopened for several months because they don't have space to stack these resources. So that's another challenge that I have come across. And also in the physical libraries, so you can imagine during this time of lockdown, the libraries are closed. So though we have resources in the library, we can't access these resources. And also like even in the physical library, if we have say like very good collections, we may have limitations in terms of number of copies we may have. We may have 2 or 3 resources, or at a max 10 or 20 resources, copies of the same books, but it will not be beyond number. So the number of people who need to access these resources will be higher than the number of resources that are there. So there will be always a demand for more resources. So this gives a solution in the form of a digital library, wherein you can access the same resource like at the same time by thousands of people. So that is possible in the physical, not possible in the physical library, that is possible in the digital library. So this is why the government of India conceived the National Digital Library of India way back in 2014 and 15, and it was launched as a pilot project in 2016. So when we started, it was a very small initiative with very limited number of resources, and today NDLI hosts over 4.8 crore resources with 55 lakh users, and this NDLI was dedicated to the nation on 19 June 2018 by the then MHRD Minister Sri Prakash Javadekar. So now let's look at what do we actually have at NDLI. So just give me a moment. Sorry for this. So what do we actually have at NDLI? At NDLI, we primarily ingest metadata. So what is metadata? Metadata in technical term, it's called data about data. So for in this library scenario, say for example, it's basically information about a resource. Say for example, if there is a book, okay, the title of the book, who is the author, who is the publisher, number of pages, what are the subject it is touching with, and the abstract. So this is called the metadata. The collection of these information is called metadata. At NDLI, we only ingest metadata for search and browse only, okay, and the full text is lying with the content partner. So I will show you in this next slide of how NDLI function. So at the center of this ecosystem is NDLI repository. So now what we do is we first identify a content contributing institution, and we sign an agreement with that institution, and then we help that institution in creating an IDR. In most of the institutions these days, they have IDRs, that is institutional digital repositories, and then we help them in creating the metadata. So we have a metadata schema prepared for NDLI, and we share it with our content collaborator, and they in fact convert their non-copyrighted open source resources into NDLI. So we basically, they host the, in their server they keep the full text, and at our database we only pull the metadata. Okay, say for example, say Delhi University. If suppose if Delhi University wants to partner with NDLI, so we first sign an MOU with them for content contribution, and then we help them in creating an IDR, institutional digital repository, or if they have institutional digital repository, well and good, and then we help them in creating their metadata, and we just pull the metadata from their IDR. Suppose if a researcher from Tamil Nadu or Kerala wants to access that resource, so he comes to NDLI, he searches for say financial accounting, he searches for the term called financial accounting. Suppose if that resource is there in Delhi University, if he clicks that for that resource, then NDLI repository will redirect him to the IDR of Delhi University, and then Delhi University will verify whether this resource is available and the credentials are correct. Then Delhi University directly gives the results, full text, to the researcher. So this is how NDLI operates. So at NDLI, we have three types of content, right? One is born digital object, which means suppose you typed your thesis in the computer, say 5 years back, you typed your thesis using the computer, and then you converted this into a PDF, and during your thesis submission, you wrote it in a DVD and gave it to your university for acceptance. So that is called born digital content. And the second type is called digital surrogate of a physical object. This means, say for example, 30 years back when there was no computer broadly used, when Mr. Rajkumar Raja, kindly mute your mic, please. So 30 years back when there was no computer available, people might have handwritten the thesis, or they might have typed it using the typewriter. So now this entire thesis is available in the form of a hard copy. So suppose if somebody scans it and then converts it into a PDF file and then uploads it in the internet, then it is called digital surrogate of a physical object. And the third type of content we have is only the metadata, digital metadata. Okay, so these are the three types of content we have at NDLI. And at NDLI, we only store metadata. We don't store any full text access content. Full text means the full version of the content, the full document. We only ingest the metadata for search and browse, and the content, full text, is delivered from the source itself. So as I mentioned, NDLI is primarily a content integrating platform, right? We don't generate or we don't scan documents. We collaborate with institutions. So there are like a lot of huge amount of resources which are available in the internet without having proper platform to share. So NDLI is basically a content collaborator or integrator. So far we have collaborated around 278 content contributors. So you can see the major some of the major partners here, but it does keep on increasing as we speak. There are a lot of new people like publishers also coming up and saying that they are willing to share the resource. So we have just started with the small beginning, and we have a long way to go. And what type of content we have at the NDLI? So this is as per our content is classified as per the Dewey Decimal Classification, which is DDC. So for people from library science background, they know DDC. For people from non-library science background, kindly search what is DDC and then find out. Information and general works, we have closer to 1 crore resources. Philosophy and psychology, 6.1 crore. Religion, 6.1 lakh resources. Religion, 2 lakh resources. Social sciences, 45 lakhs. Language, 1 lakh. Natural sciences and mathematics, 83 lakhs. Technology, 1 crore. The arts, fine and decorative arts, 4.5 lakhs. Literature and rhetoric, 7.8 lakhs. History and geography, 6.1 lakhs. So in total, as of today, we have 4.8 crore resources. And the top 20 contributors are like World eBook Library. They have contributed around 77 lakh resources. CiteSeerX, 52 lakh resources. PubMed Central, 38 lakh resources. IEEE Explore Digital Library, 33 lakhs. So with IEEE, we only have the metadata. We don't have the full text. Similarly, for Springer Link, we only have metadata. We don't have full text resources. And we have a range of content. So starting from a thesis, a dissertation, research projects, video lectures, audio lectures, term papers, assignments, assessments, ebooks, articles, project reports, law acts, law judgments, data sets, manuscripts, you name any form of educational and knowledge resources, they are available at NDLI. And article is the major type of resource that we have. Closer to 3 crore resources are articles, followed by books, which are 64 lakh resources, reports 12 lakhs, notes 11 lakhs, notes 11 lakhs, law acts 8.7 lakhs, law judgments 8.7 lakhs, technical reports 7 lakhs, thesis 6.4 lakhs, historical records 5.3 lakhs, video lectures are 3.62 lakhs. So access options. So this may be a question, so you have to listen to it carefully. So access options are defining what type of content access is available. So at NDLI, we have 5 different types of access options. The first access option is open, that is denoted by a green lock open, that is open resource that gives full text resources. And the second one is NDL users. These are resources available only for registered NDLI users, that is primarily the full text resources. The national government of India has procured national license and gave it to NDL users. So that is the second type of access option. Third one is limited access, with whereas only the partial text is available, partial text is not given. And the fourth one is subscribed. Suppose IEEE or Springer, if you have if your institution has taken the subscription for these resources, then by clicking here you can access the resources. Suppose if you don't have full text, if you don't have subscription, you will be able to see, you will be able to only see the metadata. Okay. And the fifth access option is restricted, which means these resources are only available for their internal consumption, not for external. So you can see these access options below every search result. So there are 3 icons at the bottom of every search. One is the, here you can see the, I have highlighted in red, this red color icon open, right? This green color icon open is open resource, and the second one is language, third one is type of content. So access right wise content, say for example open, we have 2.74 crore resources are open resources, and 77.94 lakh resources are NDLI resources. So if we combine these two, we have 3.62 crore resources which are full text resources. That means you can, out of the 4.8 crore resources, 3.6 crore resources you can directly download and use it without having to pay a single penny. Okay, and the remaining resources subscribed limited are around 1.2 crore resources. For them, you can, for example, limited resources are around 28. You can access only the partial resources, and authorized resources are 4 lakh resources only. And who is this resource for? So NDLI resources are meant for everyone, starting from school going students to college going adults, professionals who are into work, academicians, researchers, edupreneurs, and lifelong learners. So these resources are meant for every age group. So now let's see how to access NDLI. Accessing NDLI is very simple. What you need to do is go to any browser, be it a Google or Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox or any Safari, any browser, and then go to a search engine and then search for National Digital Library of India. Okay, go to search for National Digital Library of India, and then you will get this URL. So the first URL is ndl.iitkgp.ac.in, and also we have another URL called ndl.gov.in. So both the URLs work. So you click on this first URL. So once you click on the first URL, this will take you to our home page. Okay, so this is how our home page looks like. So currently you can see a pop-up window on top which is COVID-19 lockdown not to affect your study through National Digital Library of India. Okay, so this is how the home page looks like. So this pop-up window, I will talk about it in a short while. So now let's look at how to search at NDLI. So for searching, you need to remember 2 important things. First important thing is you should know the right keyword, search keyword. So here my search keyword was history of English literature. Okay, suppose if I make any spelling mistakes, then the results will differ. So you have to remember to use right keyword. Okay, and the second one is you need to know the various filter options to narrow down the results. So here I searched for history of English literature, and then I applied a filter called subject category, language and literature. So I got 6.74 lakh resources on the topic of history of English literature. And the next topic I searched was on modern India. Okay, so here I applied two filters. Access restriction, I wanted full text resources, so I clicked on open and NDLI. Subject category, I clicked on history and geography. I got 20,000 results on the topic of modern India. And the next topic I searched was on Indian constitutional law. Okay, so here I got 31 lakh resources on the topic of Indian constitutional law. And the next topic I searched was on 1984, which is one of the top 10 novels in the world. So the full text is available at NDLI. So here I looked at subject category of literature and rhetoric. So here, for example, 1984 is there. If you look at the bottom, you see the language filter. Here it is written HUN, which means Hungarian. So this 1984 is available in Hungarian as well as in English. So you can choose the language of your choice. Suppose if you want it in English, just click here. And the next topic I searched was on sociology. So sociology, I just wanted video lectures. So what I did was, on the right hand side there is another filter called content type. So here there is an icon called video. So I just clicked on this video. I got 455 results on the topic of sociology, which is only videos. Okay. The next topic was on microeconomics, and here I wanted the resources only from the source of Asim Premji Foundation and MIT Open Courseware. So I got 251 results on the topic of microeconomics. Next topic was human physiology, and again I wanted video lecture. I got 12,788 video lectures on the topic of human physiology. Next topic I searched was on engineering mechanics. So here I wanted it from the specific author of Sudarshan Iyengar. So I went to author and then searched for Sudarshan Iyengar. I got Sudarshan Iyengar. I chose his articles. I got 862 results on the topic of engineering mechanics. Next topic was on artificial intelligence. And then pedagogy of science. I wanted resources only from TeacherTube. And then rural marketing. So now coming back to this home page. So during this time of lockdown due to COVID-19 pandemic, our team has actually classified the resources into various educational level and discipline. So you can see here school, UG engineering, UG science, UG other disciplines, management, law, all these things. So suppose if you want only school related content, just go here and then click on school, then another pop-up window will open. There you can search for the contents related for school going students. Suppose if you want UG engineering, click here, UG science, UG other disciplines. So you can accordingly choose the level, educational level or discipline, and then narrow down the results. And also our team has collated the research resources and then created a repository of on the topic of COVID-19. So they created this COVID-19 research resource repository. So you can choose this by clicking this. So now let's look at how to open a resource at NDLI. So here I searched for a topic called research methodology. Suppose if I want to open this first search results. So I have to just click on this topic, then this page will open. Okay. So the topic title is research methodology. Sources from Lovely Professional University. Content type is text. Publisher is Excel Books Private Limited. File format is PDF. So this is called metadata. So on the top you can see two tabs. One is called content, another one is called metadata. Okay, so first you click on the metadata and look at the details here. Suppose if you find it suppose if you find it useful, then the second thing you need to look at is access restriction. Okay, so this screen clock open, it means it is a full text resource. Then if you find it useful, then you can download. So before download, you have to check on the right top corner. You can see I have already logged in with my name, which is Vignesh Swarnamohan. Okay, so since I have logged in, I can download. So I have, in order to download, I need to just click on the content. Then the entire book will get downloaded into my desktop or laptop or mobile phone, whichever device I use it from. Okay, suppose if I have not logged in, then what will happen is it will ask me to log in. It will say please log in to view this content. Then you need to click on this login. Then it will ask you to enter your email ID and password, enter the captcha, and then click login. Okay, suppose if you remember the email ID and password, you can simply do this. Imagine you forgot your password. You created register at NDLI couple of years back and you forgot the password. Then you have an option called account recovery. So you can see this orange color icon. Just click on this account recovery button. Then this pop-up window will appear. Enter your email ID and then click submit. Then you will get a password reset link. Just check the instructions and then do it accordingly. Imagine you never registered at NDLI. This is the first time you're looking at NDLI. Then in that case, what you need to do is click on register. Once you click on register, you will get this message. It will ask you for basic registration form. It will ask you for basic information like your full name, email ID, password, confirm password, date of birth, gender. So the first 4 details are mandatory. Fill all the details and then submit the button. Okay, then you will get a verification email. Once you verify, you have to click on the verification link. Then only your account will get activated. Suppose if you open a video lecture, this is how the video lecture will look like. So as I mentioned earlier, for using NDLI, you need to remember 2 important things. One is you need to know the exact search keyword, the correct search keyword without any spelling mistake. So that is one. And the second thing is understand the various filter options to narrow down the results. So the first, I'm going to talk about some 8 important filters. And so there are about 12 filters in total. I'm going to talk about 8 filters, important filters, which may be of use to you. The first important filter is access restriction. Suppose if you want only full text resources, then you just click on the open and NDLI, you will get the full text resources. And the second important filter option is author. You searched for a keyword and you want it from a specific author, just go here and search and then choose the relevant author. And the third important filter is subject category. This is as per your search keyword, you need to choose the subject category. Suppose if you searched for agricultural technology, it may come under both social sciences as well as technology. So choose both. So depending on the search keyword, you need to choose the subject category. And the fourth filter is file format. Suppose if you want only PDF files, go here and click on PDF. Then you will get PDF files only. And the fifth filter option is language. So at NDLI, we have the resources in more than 300 languages. That is including both Indian as well as international languages. So we have the resources in more than 300 languages. So remember, there may be a question on this also in the quiz thing. And the sixth filter option is learning resource type. Suppose if you want only audiobooks, click on audiobooks. Suppose if you want thesis, go here and search for thesis. You will get thesis only. Books, so you can choose check the various learning resource types by clicking on the learning resource type filter. And the seventh filter is source. So I told you there are 278 content partners. So all these partners are coming under our source category. And the eighth important filter, which is available only in the desktop application, not in the mobile app, only in the desktop application, is called content type. It is available in the desktop application on the right hand side. Okay. So also this entire interface, NDLI interface, can be accessed in various Indian languages. So Hindi, Bangla, Gujarati, Marathi, Kannada, Telugu, Oriya, Malayalam, Assamese. So it's available in various Indian languages also. And also NDLI, we have also have a mobile app. NDLI mobile is available. It's available on both Android as well as in iOS. So go to Play Store or iStore, depending on the device you use. Go to Play Store or iStore and then search for National Digital Library of India. So you have to search National Digital Library of India. You will see this logo, NDLI logo, with the National Digital Library of India as the publisher. Then you have to just click install. Then your application will get installed in your system, okay, in your mobile phone. Now let us look at how to use the NDLI mobile app in Android mobile app. So the first screen, this is the first screen. So when you open the NDLI Android mobile app, this is how the home page looks like. Okay. Suppose if you want to search, second screen, so you see the search icon. So just click on the search icon. Then this search box will appear. Okay. So here I searched for a topic called Uttar Pradesh. I searched for a topic called Uttar Pradesh and I got what Miss Kirtika, yes, kindly mute your mic, please. So I got 41,573 results. Okay. In the desktop application, you had filter options on the left hand side and on the right hand side. Whereas in the mobile app, the filter options are available at the bottom right corner. So this orange color icon, this is the filter icon in this mobile app. So you have to just click on this orange color icon. Then you can see on the third screen, various filter options which we saw on the desktop application will appear on the top. Okay. So you can actually see it on the top. You can actually scroll down these to see all the filter options here. Suppose if I applied for a filter called source. I wanted resources only from Aligarh Muslim University and then applied. I got 199 results on this topic of Uttar Pradesh alone. Okay. So this is how you have to use NDLI mobile app. So now I'm going to give you an activity. So now I'm going to give you an activity. The activity is two parts. The first part is you need to in your mobile phone download NDLI mobile app, whether you are using an Android phone or an iPhone. Go to your Play Store or iStore, download NDLI mobile app. Go to Play Store and search for National Digital Library of India and then download the NDLI mobile app in your phone. That is the first option. Suppose if you have already downloaded and installed, brilliant, you have done a great job. Suppose if you have not done, do it now. And the second activity that you are going to do is search for the topic of your interest or subject of study or your teaching. Suppose if you want resources, if you are teaching commerce, then search for financial accounting or cost accounting or say e-commerce. So search for the topics of your subject of study. Okay. And then in the chat window, you have to tell me whether you installed this app. If you installed the app and then you searched for a keyword, tell me which keyword you search and whether you found these resources useful or not. So these are the things that you are going to two activities that you are going to do it in the next 5 minutes. So now the time in my system is 2:51 or 2:52. I'm going to give you time till 2:57. So kindly installed. If you have already installed, brilliant, you have done a great job. If you have not installed, kindly install. And then second activity is kindly search for the topic of your interest or your subject of teaching or your subject of research, and then tell me whether these resources are useful or not in the chat window. Many people have already installed, great. And during this 5 minutes you can actually turn on your video so that I can take some screenshot of the participants and for recording purposes. So only for 5 minutes you can turn on the video if you feel comfortable. There is no compulsion at all. Thank you. So I'm going to mute my mic for next 5 minutes, and I'm going to take the screenshots of the participants for reporting purposes. So ABC search installs and search on library information. The results are useful. Sadanand Kumar Chaudhary. Thank you, Sadanand ji. Dr. K.S. Alvi, Ilayaraja IM, they have all installed. Brilliant. I want you to search and find out. And kindly mute your mic. Don't turn on the mic. If you turn on, then there will be huge disturbance in the webinar. Kindly keep it in mute only. So I have taken the screenshot. Now you can turn off your video, please. Thank you. So now let me read out some of the feedbacks I've received. Wonderful and mind-blowing presentation. So that's fine. Search for physics topics. So kindly mute your, kindly turn off your video, please. Kindly turn off your video. Ranjit Kumar. There is somebody called Zams Reza, administrator. Kindly turn off your video, please. Zams Reza, kindly turn off your video, please. Thank you. Data mining approaches to life cycle assessment. Miss Nidhi Kulshrestha, kindly turn off your video, please. Miss Nidhi Kulshrestha, Rishik Kumar.
I already turned on.
Turn off, turn off.
I'm already turned on, sir.
Turn off, turn off.
Okay, sir.
Turn off, please. Kindly turn off. Miss Isha Sharma, Mr. Rishik Kumar, administrator. There is somebody called administrator. Okay, thank you. So I think now let's get back to the, I think you have done a great job. You have all installed the app and you have searched for the topics also. I could even see a lot of new topics which I'm not aware of also has come up. So that's interesting to note. So now, before we get into the presentation, so I have few requests to make. And the first request I have is, if you find this NDLI useful, and if you I request all of you to kindly share it with at least 100 people. Dr. Yokesh Sharma, kindly turn off your video, please. Kindly turn off, sir. Dr. Yokesh Sharma. So kindly share NDLI app with at least 100 users, whether they could be your students or your fellow faculty members or your friends, relative. As I requested, Mr. Devendra Chari Katkoju, kindly turn off your video. Dr. Yogesh Sharma, kindly turn off your video because that is going to create a lot of disturbance. Thank you. So as I requested, kindly share it with at least 100 people. So we are about 241 people as of now in this session. Even if we share it with 100 people, we could easily reach out to 24,000 people in the next half an hour or so. So I humbly request each one of you to kindly share this NDLI app with your friends, relatives, and your students. Mr. S. Mohan Kumar, kindly turn off the video. I can't be repeating the same thing every now and then. Actually, in this app, I'm not able to stop the video centrally. So you have to have some basic discipline to turn it off, please. So kindly turn off your video. And if people don't listen, then I'd have to remove them from the webinar. So that's the only option left in front of me. Dr. Yokesh Sharma, last time I'm requesting you, kindly turn off your video. Don't turn on your video. डॉक्टर योगेश शर्मा, योगेश शर्मा जी आप अपना वीडियो को बंद कीजिएगा, बाकी लोगों को दिक्कत हो रही है। मिस यस मोहन कुमार, काइंडली टर्न ऑफ योर वीडियो। डॉक्टर योगेश शर्मा जी, मैं आपको अभी लास्ट वार्निंग दे रहा हूँ, आप नहीं करेंगे तो फिर मैं आपको वेबिनार से हटाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि आपके वजह से काफ़ी ज़्यादा बैंडविड्थ का रिक्वायरमेंट पड़ेगा, बाकी लोगों को वेबिनार पहुंच नहीं पाएगा। प्लीज़। योगेश शर्मा जी, अभी भी आपका वीडियो ऑन है, बंद कीजिए। Just give me a minute. Let me remove him from the meeting. Okay, so we have taken him off. We don't have any other option. We have given them sufficient time. So I'm requesting everyone, kindly do not turn on the video. So now we will resume the session. Very good. I think Ms. Sudha has started NDLA club in her college. Good. Thank you, Hema. You've informed your teachers. So kindly ensure that they start using it. So that is the part. So the one of the good practices that I have seen in one of the colleges where the NDLA club is running is, so the faculty members, they make it a point, they give an assignment to the students, and their resources has to be taken primarily from NDLA. So for example, suppose if they give an assignment every month, the resources they make it mandatory that they have to take the resources primarily from NDLA. So that also, like suppose if they are teaching some subject, and if they first the faculty members come to NDLA and search for the resource, if it's available, they share it with the students, and then the students also start using NDLA. So that is how you have to start using NDLA. See, the main advantage of NDLA is you don't have to take a photocopy of resources. So during like while I was studying, what like I used to spend anywhere between 1,000 rupees to 2,000 rupees only for photocopying in every semester. So that is the cost I used to spend, and today it may be expensive. And so with the NDLA coming in, you can actually just like many of the students wherever I have seen, they have a mobile phone, smartphone, so they can just download this app and start use mobile phone for educational purposes. Okay, so now let's look at what is the difference between Google and NDLA with an example. Imagine there is a girl called Payal who is studying in class 8, and she is in Hindi medium. She wants to know about magnetism in the subject of physics. And similarly, there is a guy called Shamik who is wanting to do his PhD on the topic of magnetism. So both of them go to Google and they search for the same topic called magnetism, and they got 1.89 crore results. Okay, so then they came to NDLA and they searched for same topic, magnetism, and they got 11 lakh results. Now what Payal did is she applied two filters: educational level 5th to 8th standard, language Hindi, and she got 8 results only. Okay, and what Shamik did was he wanted only career and technical paper, and he got 219 results. So imagine, where is 1.89 crore and where is 219 results. So now let's do a quick comparison of what is the difference between Google and NDLA. Let's understand how Google functions. So what Google does is, suppose if you search for a topic, say the moment you put the topic called magnetism, it will go around the entire World Wide Web, and wherever this term called magnetism is there, it will pull the results. But it that's a brilliant job. It does its job brilliantly. We don't have any competition with Google. But there are some limitations. Say for example, Google can't distinguish whether that resource is coming actually from an authentic source and unauthentic source, whether the content is relevant for education or not relevant for education, whether the content is real information or a fake information. So these are the disadvantages of Google. Whereas at NDLI, we work with only trusted educational research and publishing partners. They are all into educational domain only, right? And the second is you can narrow down the results using filter options, which is also available at Google, but many of the people don't know about it. And our filter and their filter, there is a slight difference. In our filter, these filters are primarily designed for educational domain, but whereas their filter is designed firmly for all the people, generic population in mind. See, I'm not giving you any comparison. I'm not telling you NDLI superior or than Google. I'm just giving you a difference. Okay, people still go to Google and search. That's, we don't have any issues with it. I'm just giving you some basic differences between Google and NDLI. Is my presentation visible? Just put it in the chat message.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Miss Saranya, you are not, if you are not able to see, then I think there is something wrong with your mobile. Just recheck. And also in the NDLI app, you can modify search based on the content type. So that is also available at Google, but you have to go to the advanced option to narrow down the results, which many people don't know, including myself. I didn't know till few years back. And then the fourth difference is national licensing. So Government of India has procured national licensing from two publishers. Say for example, World eBook Library and South Asia Archive. From these two publishers, Government of India has procured national license and then given it to NDLI library. So now NDL, whichever user registered at NDLI, it's available to all the NDLI registered users at free of cost. So before this, World eBook Library, so how many of you have heard of Delnet? So Delnet used to have the World eBook Library resources, and you may be paying around 25,000 to 50,000 rupees every year annual subscription for using that resource. Similarly, South Asia Archives, which was available only with very few institutions like JNU, Jadavpur University and Allahabad University. And I think JNU bought it for around 1.2 crore or 3 crore, and Jadavpur University for 1 crore, and then Allahabad University bought it for 70 lakh rupees or something. So now these resources are available at free of cost for every Indian citizens, right? So similarly, government is, if the usage is good, government may procure other national license also. So that depends on how citizens use NDLI. So now the big picture. So imagine few, maybe 5-10 years back, using mobile phone or internet was a luxurious thing. Today it's available in most of the Indian citizens, but people use it for primarily for entertainment purposes, right? So now mobile phones and technology can also be used for educational purposes. So you might have heard of Swayam Prabha, Gyan, NPTEL, NDLI. These are all supplementary and complementary learning resource materials. So in future, maybe 5 years or 10 years down the line, if you have a smartphone with an internet connection, you can actually augment various programs online itself by sitting at home or from your workplace. That may not happen. So that is a possibility, and the government is creating all the ecosystems around it. So now let's look at how to operate NDLI club in your institution. So what is the objective of NDLI club? So the objective of NDLI club is two. One is to promote the culture of reading. That is the primary objective. So many of you many of you may agree with me that the reading habit in general is going down, and it's taking up in different shape. So I don't want to get into that nitty gritty of it, but we need to bring back the culture of reading, okay, and also promote the resources available at NDLI. So this is the twin objective of NDLI Club. So if your objective is also similar, if you also looking at promoting the culture of reading, and if your institution also looking at spreading the awareness about NDLI, then you can actually start an NDLI club in your institution. And how to do it? Identify at least one student from each class and one faculty member from each department. Okay, librarian or a faculty member or an NSS coordinator as the ex officio secretary, and principal as the ex officio chairman. You first form this, identify these members and get this list approved by the head of the institution. And then you need to apply for the NDLI club registration. So there is a URL that is available, which is a Google form which we have created temporarily. So once you click on this URL, this is how the NDLI club registration form looks like. You have to fill the basic information about your institution, and then attach the list of NDLI club members which was approved by your head of the institution. And when you are planning to submit start the NDLI club, and then click submit. Once you submit, this form will come to us, and our team will do a backend verification of your institution, whether this institution exists or whether it is registered with UGC or AICTE. So we check the basic parameters, and if it's found to be correct, then we issue a certificate of registration, NDLI club certificate of registration, that is valid for 1 year. So this is how the NDLI club certificate of registration looks like. And so once you get this certificate of registration, you need to do two important things. And the first part is you have to register all the students and faculty members within 30 days of receipt of the certificate. So that is the first part you need to do. And the second part, what you need to do is conduct at least 10 reading or knowledge related activities within the remaining 11 months. Okay, the first month you need to register all the faculty members and students, and in the remaining 11 months you need to conduct at least 10 reading or knowledge related activities. So now let's look at in detail how to do registration at NDLI. So registration, you can do it in two types. One is individual registration, where the user can directly register, and the second one is bulk registration. For institutional registration, say for example, if you are a college or a school, we encourage you to go for bulk registration, because when you do a bulk registration, you will get the statistics of how many students you have registered so far and how many of them have activated their account. Okay, this will be helpful when UGC, NAC, AICTE or NAB comes for verification. They will ask for the Indian digital resources, and if you say you have registered at NDLI, then they will ask you to show the statistics. So that time you have to show how many of you have registered and how many of them have activated, right? So I'm encouraging the bulk registration for institutional, school, college or university. You do a bulk registration. So now let's look at how to do bulk registration. So so now I'm conducting an awareness session for you. Now what you need to do is, once you get the certificate of registration, you conduct an awareness session for your fellow NDLI club members, who are the students, one student from each class and one department faculty from each department, right? Then you have to conduct an awareness session for them, and they in turn go back and conduct an awareness session for their students and faculty members, and then collect 3 details from each student and faculty members. What are those 3 details? You have to collect it in an Excel sheet. Their personal email ID. I'm repeating, it's their personal email ID, because after 3 or 4 years, once they pass out of your college, you will delete their email ID. Then they will not be able to access NDLI after that. So NDLI is primarily meant for lifelong use. So we encourage you to collect their personal email ID and then their first name and last name. So only 3 details you have to collect from each student, and then save it in an Excel file and then send it to our email ID, which is ndl-support@iitkgp.ac.in, with a copy to my email ID, which is vignesh@ndl.gov.in or vigneshjnu@gmail.com. So this is the email ID that you have to send it to. So once you send it to us, is the audio clear now? Sanjay Kumar Mishra ji? Okay, thank you. Is there still some disturbance? Let me just. Is it better now? So I have muted everyone. Kindly don't unmute your mic, please. Indra GC, kindly don't unmute. Kindly put it in the chat message itself. Is it better? Okay, sure. So let me start. So once you send us the list of users, then we do a bulk registration. Then within 48 hours, they will get a automated verification email. So you have to call. This is where the major challenge is. The students will get their email verification email, or they may say they have not got the email, or it may be in their bulk folder, or for technical reasons they may not have even received it. So in that case, what you need to do is call class by class and make them sit in the library if you have the computer, or make them sit in the computer lab and make them activate their account. So that is when your job will get started, because the UGC, NAC, AICT, when they come for verification or visit, they will ask you for number of people activated, not for number of people registered. If you don't have sufficient number of activated number, then they will ask you questions. They will not give you those 2 or 3 points. Okay, so this is the first task. Suppose, imagine your friends or your son or daughter, your children or your relatives, they don't know about NDLI. They want to know about NDLI. Then they can do an individual registration. And how to do individual registration? Go to NDLI homepage, and on the right bottom corner you can see this register icon. So you have to ask them to just click on the register icon, then this registration form will open. Okay, you have to just enter the full name, email ID, password, confirm password. These are the 4 fields which are mandatory. Rest of the fields are optional. Okay, and then enter the CAPTCHA, choose the terms and condition, and then click on sign up. Then your account get activated. Okay, you will get a verification email. Click on the verification URL, then your account get activated. Then you can log in with your username and password. This is how you have to do an individual registration. For after this, you have to conduct an activity every month. Okay, so these are some of the activities that you may want to conduct. These are just indicative list of activities that you may want to conduct. It could be a lecture series or a quiz competition, storytelling session, go fish game, film screening, drawing competition, role play, writing competition, maker space, or debate. So these are the kind of activities that you may want to conduct. And then once you conduct the activity, you need to upload it in our monthly activity report URL also. Okay, And these are some of the activities being conducted by various NDLI clubs across the country. We have designed some incentive mechanisms for best performing NDLI clubs at the district level, state level or national level, and also we have started conducting reading Olympiads for district, state and national level also. So I'm sharing my contact details for your perusal. My name is Dr. Vignesh and my email ID is vignesh@ndl.gov.in and my personal email ID is vigneshjnu@gmail.com and my mobile number is 9999654458. So I'm repeating my email ID vignesh@ndl.gov.in, vigneshjnu@gmail.com, 99. My mobile number is 9999654458. And for bulk registration, you have to reach out to my colleague Rajendra Sen. His email ID is ndl-support@iitkgp.ac.in and his personal email ID is rajendra.singh1310@gmail.com and he can be reached on his mobile phone 8197564857. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share it with all of you, and now it's time for us to do the feedback quiz cum feedback session. Okay, so I'm going to share the URL for feedbacks. Kindly mute your mic please. So I'm going to share the URL for the feedback form. Kindly don't put any message in the chat window for next few minutes. I've just put the URL for the feedback form. So I will show you how to open the feedback form now. Please mute your mic please. So I just opened this feedback form. Kindly don't put any message in the chat window. So this is how the Tahira Naziruddin, kindly mute your mic. So this is how the feedback form looks like. Kindly don't fill it now. Kindly mute your mic, all of you. I am requesting you again. Don't make any mistake in filling the feedback form and don't be in a hurry. Read all the questions properly. The first question is name of your institution and don't make any mistake in spelling or something like that. Then we will not be able to change it in the certificate. Similarly, name of the participant, enter your full name. Don't make any mistake. A lot of people come back to me after saying that I have entered wrongly. Now you correct it in the certificate because it is going to be a system generated certificate. I will be able to print as you give. Okay, so don't make any mistake and also don't enter it for your friends and family because we will be checking in our system report also, then only we will be issuing it. And then click on the date of the webinar, your designation, your email ID, mobile phone. Then the actual question start, whether you have an NDLI account or not. If you have username password for NDLI, say yes. If you don't have, click on no. And then the next question is name the various filter options available at NDLI. I told you there are how many filters available at NDLI. Recollect, and if you don't remember it, kindly go back to NDLI app or website and look at the various filter options. So some of the filter options I remember: access restriction, author. So these are two. Remember, you have to recollect the rest of the 10. And then what are the learning resource types available in NDLI? I also told this. If you don't know, go to the learning resource type filter and then search how many resource type available. How many languages? I again told this answer. List out 5 access options available in NDLI. I told you about the various access options. 5 access options available at NDLI. Open and NDLI are 2. You have to recollect the remaining 3. And then how NDLI is different from Google. I briefed you about it. And then tell us how NDLI helps to your learning during COVID-19 lockdown situation. Write in 100 words. And then overall feedback about NDLI. any suggestions for NDLE to consider, and then feedback about the online webinar conducted by Dr. Vignesh. So these are the questions. Don't be in a hurry to fill. I'm going to give you 30 minutes. Now it's 3:30. So we will close this form by 4 o'clock only. Okay. So don't be in a hurry. Take your time. And then fill this. So we will be opening this, keeping this open till 4 o'clock. And if people who want to submit the feedback after 4, I can't help it. We will have to close the.
Sir, where can I submit this form?
So
Hello.
kindly go and check in the chat window.
Excuse me.
Kindly go and check in your chat window. I have just sent the URL. Just click on that URL, then the form will open. How many of you have opened the feedback form? Just put it in the chat window.
Sir.